Today's headline is Spotted Hawk, Medicine Man. It says Old Spotted Hawk was a great medicine man amongst his own people, the Sioux. His reputation as such had reached the few whites who had settled near the border of the reservation where the old man lived. Many cases of rheumatism, rattlesnake bites, and the like had been submitted to him by his white acquaintances, and many cures had resulted from the remedies he applied. This was all well and good. No one of authority in the Indian department objected to the relief of suffering. But when a sick Indian fell into the hands of Spotted Hawk, his practice of medicine was not limited to the application of such simple remedies as his knowledge of the prairie roots and herbs made him master of. He added to these and at times replaced them by incantations and mysterious rites, the value of which was only known to himself. When he started to drive out the evil spirit that caused the illness, his patient had to be of a rugged constitution to survive. This brought him into discredit with the powers of the department, and orders were issued that all cases of sickness must be reported to the agency physician, and that the practice of Indian medicine men must be discontinued. But 'twas easier said than done. In fact, with a few exceptions, the Indians ignored the order, refusing to take the white man's medicine, and called in their old friend Spotted Hawk. The Indian agent at last determined to carry out his order to the letter and summon the old fellow to the agency to give him a lecture and to try to reason him out of his stubborn stand. On the day appointed he appeared, not alone, but with a retinue that showed the faith of his followers. An hour for his meeting with the agent was set, which was soon communicated to the officers at the adjacent military post, thence to the rank and file. So when the party gathered in the agent's office, a number of officers were on the inside, and a large number of buck soldiers outside, for we thought there might be something doing. After a lengthy harangue by the Indian agent, in which he pointed out the advantages of being treated by a man who had made disease a life study, and who used remedies known to be beneficial in the right hands, and the folly of trying to cure diseases by pounding on a drum, Spotted Hawk then took to the floor. He could not speak any but his own tongue, so the services of an interpreter were required. "My friend," said he, "many winters have silvered the hair of our agent and his doctor. They are old men and have learned much, but I too am an old man and my years have not been wasted. You call upon me to give up the practice of medicine and say that I am a fool because some of my people have died while under my treatment. That they died is no reason that I am not wise, nor that my remedies are worthless, but it was the will of the Great Spirit. Do you treat your own doctor thus if he loses a patient? Then why is he wiser than I? Why not dispose of him as you would of me?" How, chorused his followers in approval. "I'm here to defend myself in my ways and will show you some of the power given me by the Great Spirit. You all know of the stone called a standing rock, from which this agency takes its name. You all know that while it stood upon the top of yonder hill, some of these idle soldiers, here we all became interested in something down the road, would start it down the hill, simply to see how far it would go. That stone is endowed with the power of the Great Spirit, and in the cover of darkness would go back to its resting place on the brow of the hill. Let me tell you of its legend, and you too may believe as we do, for in many points your people and mine are brothers. Long before the whites were known to us, that stone was an Indian woman, the mother of sons. My people were at war with our enemies, the Arikaras, and this woman's sons were in a war party, then away in the Arikara country. On its return, the first to greet the victorious warriors was his mother. Her loving eyes looked in vain for her sons, and with sorrowful face the chief told her of their death. Brave, strong, and skillful though they were, their scalps were now drying in front of an Arikara lodge. Turning slowly, that mother sought her own lodge and for many days sat with bowed head. Friendly voices sympathized and tried to console her in vain. She told them that her grief had turned her heart to stone, and she prayed the Great Spirit would be merciful and change also her body. Her prayer was answered, and since then my people have looked upon that stone with reverent eyes." Here he raised his arms, turned toward the sun, and intoned a monotonous song or prayer which the interpreter informed us was a request of the standing rock to come to his aid, to show itself in the room, and proof of his power. Still no stone appeared, and we were getting tired of listening to his chant. One of our fellows picked up a handful of gravel and threw it into the room at Spotted Hawk's feet. The noise brought his eyes to the floor, and excitedly he cried, "See, see, the little ones come. The large one will soon follow." How, yelled the chorus. This was too much for the dignity of the agent and his friends, and after a hearty laugh at the crestfallen medicine man and a strict injunction against his further practice of medicine, the party disbanded. This article was written by prisoner 1179 at the Minnesota State Prison. This story comes from the great state of Minnesota, being reported in the Mirror of April 27, 1905. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.